The guy clearly, look, the guy has a problem, regardless of what all the facts come out to be. If he's called 911 46 times, in the last year, they must have, at the police station, a thing saying it's him again, and this is where the problem of guns comes. Because if you're just a person who's a little off and has some false sense of power, that's one thing if you don't have a gun in your hand.
Yet he had all the appropriate permits.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm not saying that it was an illegal gun. I'm saying the gun is the problem. That's what kills you.
And the law. And the law in Florida does something else. No other state has a law like this. Not only is it a stand your ground law, and in the olden days under common law you had a duty to retreat. Stand your ground says no, you don't have to. Florida goes one step farther. Stand your ground is self-defense. Defense at trial. It would go to trial where the jury would figure out what happened. In Florida, the law says if you raise a claim of self-defense after killing someone in public, you can't even be arrested.
That's exactly right. Section 776. Listen, this provides immunity from arrest unless the police have probable cause that the force that was used was unlawful.
It's why prosecutors and police hated this law. It sabotaged our justice system. And all the discussion that we've heard, what did Zimmerman do? What did Trayvon do? Juries are supposed to figure that out. The Florida law destroys that American system.
To me, it's what's ironic. It's such irony about this is most of the states that have passed this, including Florida, and the stand your ground laws and the expanded, obviously, gun ownership laws where you can carry concealed weapon are also the same states and the same legislators and the same governors who sort of push for prayer in the school. To me, there's such an irony here that we're going to we want to be
more with all those guns out
we want to be a Christian nation and we want to act in a Christian manner, but oh, by the way, we don't believe in the turn your other cheek and we don't believe in love your enemy. We believe in loading citizens and basically giving them an opportunity to shoot people. This is an unbelievable, to me, tragic case. But I think, as Donna said, I think it's touched something in society. I hope what doesn't happen. I hope the rhetoric can drop a little bit and that we don't go from what we had 2 weeks ago, which was everybody saying there was a war on women, and now everybody's starting to say, certain leaders are starting to say there's a war on African Americans or a war on blacks. That's not what this is about. Really, that's fundamental. This is about somebody that, at the best case, you could say he's mentally off, George Zimmerman. And that's what I think we got to go back to what this really is saying about society. It's not. This is an individual who did this. This isn't a commentary.
Donna is certainly right that if that young black men or black men of any age, are considered suspects, and whether it's a cab driver who won't pick them up, or whether it's a white person crossing the street because she's nervous to have a black man on the same side of the street as she is, that's real. That happens in our society.
And Donna, this did bubble up from the African American community. No one spoke out on it for about a month.
Oh, absolutely, George. It was on the internet, and then the black radio stations played a large role in getting the national media to focus on. Once again, like the Susan Coleman controversy, this really was a social media movement, and you'll see over the next couple of days even more petitions aimed at the governor and others to repeal this law. But I want to also say, and I think something else that needs to be said, since 2008 to 2009, over 2,500 black males, young black males, were murdered in this country. Trayvon Martin is a tragedy, but there's another tragedy, and the number of young black boys killed, they make up less than 15% in our society, but more than 45% of homicides. And this is something that I think will also be a topic of conversation as we look longer at this whole controversy.
I think there's no question about that. Let's